Alright guys, this video has taken far longer than I ever expected it would, but yeah, everyone's got their videos into me, and they're pretty long, so I'm gonna make mine and Alex's really sweet, short, and to the point. And yeah, hopefully everything goes well, and I know there's a little bit of an audio error on their videos. Like, they're not bad audio, it's just you can't, like, it's not great audio. So yeah, that's something I tried to mask over, and hopefully it works out. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into this. Alright guys, so we're going to start off with me, and I'm going to make mine short, sweet, and to the point. My number 5 is Wind Witch. Due to the viability of this, it's good. I really like this, but I don't think it's better than any of the other ones on my list. But overall, it is a very good engine that I feel like is still going to be played for a good amount of time to come. Next up on my list is Artifacts. This was more of an earlier 2017 thing, but this is still very good. Moral Tech, Scythe, and Sanctums. I used them, Alex used them, Brad used them. I didn't think they were good until I used them, and holy shit did they prove me wrong. They are busted if you can get them off, especially pre-link format. They were really good. Holy crap. Anyway, still a really good engine. I feel like it's going to be played probably more heavily coming up in the future. Not right now, though. Alright, so now we're moving on to Kaijus. Literally, you can get over any card with these, and Slumber is busted. When it was at 3, this engine was completely broken, and I feel like it definitely holds its rank as one of the top engines of 2017. Okay, so my number 2 is Invoked. I don't even need to explain this. Alistair is broken. Not counting, you can literally go into so many different combos with this deck. It's not even funny. And it's so splashable. This deck is probably one of the best decks by itself and in an engine, but it is still beat out by one deck, which I guarantee everyone already knows what it is. Alright, so now we got the big dog in the room, Zodiac. This deck is completely busted on its own and is an engine. I'm not going to explain it too much because Dakota and Bradley go into huge detail on it. So check that out later on, and I'll catch you guys next time. But for now, check out Bradley, Alex, and Dakota's picks.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Bradley for TeamDemise here, and we're going to talk about the best 5 engines in Yu-Gi-Oh! 2017. I feel like this is a really good video to make. Andy messaged me and said something about it, and I thought it was really interesting to go ahead and give my opinions. I've been playing really competitively all year for the most part, except for the past month or so. After I got my invite this season, I just kind of didn't really care too much. After you get your invite, you really don't have to worry about it too much. I figured I'd go ahead and put my insight in on this and what I think are the best 5 engines in 2017, because there's been a lot of really good packages that we were able to play, like the Wind Witches, the Dracos, Invoke, the Zodiac, Artifacts, Kaijus, and all that other good stuff. But yeah, we'll go ahead and talk about what I think are the best 5 that we've had access to in the past year. So for number 5, we're going to go ahead and say the Kaiju package. The Kaiju package is very powerful. Being able to use one card to out any monster your opponent controls is insane. Giving your opponent like a 2200 Gamma Seal or 2400 Humongous is very powerful whenever you're... Kaijus are inherently just a neg 1, but what they give to you is insane due to the fact of adding a Masterpiece with one monster. It really makes it easier and puts the game in a more simplified game state. Also, Interrupted Kaiju Slumber is probably one of the best cards that we've had to release to us in the past 2 years of Yu-Gi-Oh! I believe it was released in Shiny Victories, but anyway, that's irrelevant to the fact that the card is a board wipe that's we've been losing more recently, like Regeki and Dark Hole. We don't have we don't have Dark Hole at 2 anymore, so we're losing board wipes, and Slumber just got recently hit the 1, and the reason behind that is because of the board wipe and it's a Rhoda all-in-one card, and we all know how good Rhoda is, and a Rhoda for a card that outs any monster is actually insane, and the only way that Kaiju don't out a monster is due to Vanity's Emptiness, and of course that card's banned now. But Kaijus have been played all year, due to the fact of kaijuing over a Drancia or a Masterpiece or anything really that you really don't want to deal with. It really helps get rid of that. The undestroyable Crystal Wing that the Wind Witches make is really powerful, and kaijus get rid of that, and invoked boss monsters like Makaba and stuff like that. So I think kaijus are probably the 5th best engine of the format. I would say that they're like the 3rd or 4th because of how inconsistent they can be. So yeah, but number 4, I'm probably gonna have to give it to the Artifact engine. We've seen the artifacts start really being played in the beginning. I think it was February when Zoo came out, or March. It was one of those two. But anyway, artifacts were really being played at the first YCS that Zoo was out, and I think that was like the second weekend Zoo was released. But using Scythe on your opponent's turn after you set up Trident and Emerald was very impactful to the game, and like Artifact Sanctum was a hell of a card because people were still playing Twin Twisters and not Cosmic Cyclone. So your opponent would Twin Twister you, and they get punished for it because you just pop a card on their field, and you get to summon Scythe to where they couldn't use their extra deck anymore. So it was very impactful. Artifact engine still being played to this day, even in Spiral format, because being able to tutor Artifact Lancet from your deck is really strong to stop evenly matched, and if they don't have evenly matched, you can Sanctum for Scythe and lock your opponent out of summoning from the extra deck anyway. So I think artifacts are just very powerful, and punishes your opponent for trying to extend if you have it. And so yeah, I think artifacts definitely deserve to be on this list because of how powerful the cards are in general. And Lancea is one hell of a card, being a hand trap. We also seen that card being played whenever Invoked was really good. Is when your opponent would activate Invocation, you could Lancea in response, and the fusion summon wouldn't happen, and their Alistair would remain engraved, which puts you very far ahead. But number 3 on our list, I'm gonna have to say the Dragonic Diagram engine. I would put this higher up on the list, but it's kind of inconsistent in some cases. But if you look at it, I say Dragonic Diagram engine because I'm going to include the True Kings and the True Draco cards in this. We've seen True Dracos being played immediately upon release when it, whether it was the Demise variant or like you put it in the Zodiac, or recently seen it being played in ABC. To where you could pop pieces in your hand, search Masterpiece, and then you could end your field on Masterpiece and Dragon Buster, which is very powerful. But but the Diagram engine's so strong because you get to pop a card in your hand, and Terraforming and Diagram are both at 3, so it's a very reliable engine to build your deck around. And Dino is really plussed off of this card, being able to pop a baby Ceratosaurus, special summoning the Rhoda Dinosaur, I don't remember what his name is, but searching a card and a True King, which is very powerful. And Diagram, giving other decks access to Masterpiece gave just a higher ceiling to other decks, even though it was kind of inconsistent, but the power that Masterpiece gave to other decks was a little unfair, if we're being honest, but I think Diagram was a really good card. So, yeah, it definitely deserves a spot as number 3 in the top 5 best engines of Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2017. But for number 2, I'm going to have to give this one to the Invoked engine. Alistair's insane. Alistair searching Invocation upon normal summon or flipped face up is actually bonkers. I have to say that because the one card engine like that, we've seen it recently being played in it like Hand Trap Invoked. It's where like you're using such a small 3-card engine with it'd be more like a 9-card engine with 3 Terraforming, 3 Meltdown, and 3 Alistair if you're playing that much. But a bunch of hand traps, and you'd be able to abuse the hell out of your deck, and that deck was so good at going second. A lot of people didn't think it was because when people were playing Solemn Strikes and whatnot, which it wasn't, but if you hard drew Invocation, it was so powerful. So even if you got Solemn Strike, it was entirely too free. But anyway, we're getting off track here. It's definitely the second best engine. I think it's better than the Draco engine because of how consistent the Alistair engine is and the amount of decks that you're able to fit it into. You can fit Alistair into about any deck that you want. We've seen it being played in the Wind Witch deck. We also seen it being fused with the Zodiac, which we'll get talking about that in a minute, as much as I don't want to. But we've seen it being mixed with Zodiac, and I actually faced a deck at Nat, so it was Invoke Zoo. and he was ending on his fields with the Invoked Elysium with Trident and I can't remember what else. I think it ranked 4, but it was really strong. Watching the Hammer Kong is what it was, but yeah, the Invoked engine being such a small engine, being able to play in almost any deck and being able to abuse Makaba was actually really good. You could argue to switch the Alistair engine and Dragonic Diagram, I can't talk, engine backwards to where Diagram would be 2 and Alistair would be 3, but I really think the Alistair engine was better. It wasn't as impactful as Dragonic Diagram was in the beginning, but I think Alistair in itself is going to be better for a longer time period. And yeah, so I don't know. Like, I don't really like Invoked, but you can't ignore how powerful one-card fusion summons like that are. And being able to banish cards from your opponent's graveyard is just actually insane. Banishing your opponent's Ash Blossom and making the Purgatrio and running into every single one of your opponent's monsters is pretty much game breaking. Or when your opponent Ghost Ogres you or something like that, you can just fuse with it. Or if you're playing against ABC, you could banish the pieces, make Makaba, and then not only does the ABC player have one less piece that he can use, but he's also having to stare down and invoke Makaba, and you could do that almost every turn. And that deck was very good with Cherries, because you literally only needed like 10 of your invoked cards in your extra deck, and then you could play just a bunch of Cherries targets if you really wanted to. So yeah, I really think Invoke definitely deserves number 2. But of course, we're going to talk about number 1 here, everybody's favorite deck of the year, Zodiac. This is a deck and an engine. It was better as a deck. A lot of people say it was better as an engine, but if you watch the pure deck roll of how consistent it was, you can't say that the engine was better. But anyway, we've seen Zodiac being splashed at everything. I played Zodiac Metalfoes for a really long time, and Zodiac Mermail, so I know how good the Zodiac engine was. One card plays we all know are fantastic, and one card XC summons are really strong, and Norden's banned, and he was one card ranked 4, so if that tells you anything about how strong Zodiac was when every card did that. And the utility that the Zodiac cards gave people was really strong with the Lunalite Black Sheep back in the day, searching Fusion Substitute, and drawing 5 cards in a turn was ridiculous. Also, Speedray Terratop was very abusable with this engine making Invoker, and the Predaplants also searching Brilliant Fusion or anything else that you were playing. I don't really know what they were playing at that moment. I didn't mess around with it, but the Zodiac engine you can't argue with being the best engine in Yu-Gi-Oh! Probably ever, if I'm being honest. One card ranked 4, Zodiac Barrage is a hell of a card. Being able to make a Regeki break consistently every turn in the form of Trident, and you were also getting a +1 off of Broadbull, and then when Chakanine came out, you're bringing back the Hammer Cone. So you had an untargetable rank 4 monster that could, probably had a Whiptail under it, and another monster on the field that you just overlay with on top of the next turn if Trident got cleared, which was really impactful. I'm not going to talk too much about this because I know a lot of you people hate Zodiac, but you do have to understand that it was the best engine in Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2017. But yeah, let me know what other kind of videos you guys want to see. I thought this one would be really fun when Andy mentioned it to me, so I figured I'd go ahead and make it. But yeah, this is Bradley from TeamDemise, signing out.
What is up, YouTube? I am Waterboy here with TeamDemise and Haphazard Gaming. I'm going to be showcasing you some of what I feel are the best engines of 2017. Now note, this video was brought to you by Andy. He approached a lot of the group with this idea, talking about engines that were really relevant and strong. I'm going to be talking about some that weren't, but I feel should be noted at least. And please let me know what you think about these engines along with all the others. I think this is a really interesting concept, and I'm going to start off with the most current one right now, and I call it handtrap.deck or handtrap.engine. This is probably the most relevant. It's one of the largest because of how much deck space it actually takes up, but it's very powerful. It is the 1 driver, the 3 gamma, the 3 ash, the 2 ghost, the 2 droll, and 1 maxi. It is 10 cards in your deck. That is a lot, but it is so powerful. Hand Trap has been really strong, they've been a part of the game for a long time, ever since they were introduced with Effect Veiler, and they just continue to be relevant. The most recent add-on to it has been Gamma. Gamma has really just been... Gamma was teched in the OCG as its own little engine, with the Omega, of course, and the extra deck, but Gamma is still really powerful. That effect negation and destruction, that's really good. I mean, it's very notable. And the fact that you do it during your opponent's turn, if you go second, Gamma's a really strong second card. So it's something that should be noted. Gamma's really powerful. Of course, you also have the 3 Ash. I mean, a lot of people, and this is something I noted in Invoked players, like they're only playing 2 of most, except for Ash and Gamma, because while Ghost Ogre and Droll Unlock are good, they're still only once per turn. Granted, all of them are once per turn, but Ash is too powerful not to play at 3. Gamma only works on during their turn, and then they can still send it to graveyard or banish it with the invocation, so that way they can summon it. Again, I'm noting this from an Invoke deck profile I saw. So, playing 3 of these, and the fact that Ash is a fire, it gets you Purgatrio, which is one of the best Invoke cards right now. So it's really powerful. So playing these 2 at 3 is really good. Ash is also, again, a good card, but only good in certain situations. Droll Unlock, again, good, but only good in certain situations. And Maxi, again, good in a lot of decks, but in certain situations. I mean, it's not good against something like Monarchs, because, they don't really special summon. I'm noting that from an older point, and there are some other decks, because, like I said, and I'm all noting this because I saw it from an Invoke profile that got top 16, or the fact that they're all different attributes gives you the ability to banish them with invocation, and it lets you don't have to rely on your opponent's decks to summon your invoked. I mean, again, you got the Raijin, you got the, you can't summon Kaliga on its own, but I mean, you can do that with Alistair. So, it's still very powerful, and I mean, Extension, of course, is the invoked, or, all on its own, but, I mean, you could side deck that in, but it's still really powerful. This is just, Invoked is really strong. It's been an engine, it's been a deck, something to note. It's just very powerful. And I'm sorry this isn't complete. I sort of just made that connection not too long ago, but oh well. Next I want to note Brilliant Fusion. I'm very sorry, I'm having a little trouble breathing over here, but I'm going to be fine. Brilliant Fusion is just a really old engine. It's been used in a lot of decks, it's been very powerful, helps a lot of deck gets through, and there's been many iterations. I mean, we have Brilliant Trick Clown, which is just gets you the Trick Clown, and the Gem Knight Seraph gets you that additional normal. You've got the Predaplant, which gets you the free Skull Dragon, which gets you the draw 4, shovel back 3. Special Summon gives you that bonus. Very powerful. I mean, that's really strong. And then, of course, something like my deck, the World Chalice. It extends, it gets me a +2. It's just very powerful. I mean, and it's not vital in every deck, and not every deck needs to play it. But, I mean, the decks that do, it's really powerful. And, I mean, it should be noted. It's very strong, and, I mean, not every deck's going to play it, but those who do, they reap the benefit because they find what's good for their deck. They find their target, which is normally Garnet, and then they'll play Trick Clown. That free rank, that gives you a free rank or link 2 already. Not even having to use your normal. That's already really powerful. Unless you're playing the Brilliant or the Predaplant, then that gives you the link 4 already. So again, it's just noting different variations of it makes it really powerful. Next off, I'm going to talk about the Wind Witch. I mean, and I don't know if any other people have noticed it, but Wind Witch is a free decode talker all on its own. I mean, that's powerful. Decode talker gets you the link, 2 link arrows on your side, negation, attack bonuses, it becomes a beater. I mean, that's really strong. And it's something that I feel should be noted. I mean, Wind Witch, and even in their height, whenever they were used to summon the Crystal Wing, you know, that untargetable Crystal Wing, it doesn't use your normal summon at all. I mean, it's just really powerful, and I'm sorry that I sound excited. It's because I am, just thinking about this. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is really fun to me, and I think looking at all these engines and seeing what they can do to, like, Link Summon. Because of World Chalice, all I do is think about Link Summoning now. Again, I'm really sorry. I'm having a little bit of trouble breathing over here. And it's really cool to think about it. I mean, that Crystal Wing turned into a Decode Talker. Didn't even use your normal summon, so you still have that live. I mean, you could, or, you know, there's other ways to use it. I mean, you can reap benefits from it. I mean, summon another card, hey, that's a firewall or something like that. I mean, Wind Witch is also really good. And another one that's been really good. I mean, at one point it was the undefeated deck. I mean, you played it or you lost. Zodiac. Zodiac was so powerful, and I'm mostly talking about the early iteration with the Black Sheep and the Norden to get you that draw 7. Very powerful. I mean, you had that, and you just went so far. I mean, it took up a lot of extra deck space, of course, but it's powerful. I mean, most people know this. Most people hate Zodiac, but it was powerful. It did what it was supposed to do, and it got you so far ahead. It probably wouldn't do the same thing it does now here in Link format, but I can only imagine. I mean, there were even videos where people thought Zodiac weren't going to be hit, and it's Link format. You know, they're banned with Dryden and Broad Bull. We don't have Emerald. Momorat's at 1, you know, so the deck's dead. But think about it, what it did. I mean, if you didn't play it at one point, you didn't win. I mean, that's just how it was. And I mean, it's still really powerful. It did not lose any bit of it. I mean, yes, it did, but I mean, it still has this point where the power that it does provide, the advantage, is still beneficial. I mean, even if it was brought back now, you wouldn't get as far as you do, but you would still, you know, get the power. Dryden's still incredibly powerful. I mean, there's just so many different things you could have done with it. And of course, as I said, the Invoked is just really powerful. It's still topping. Alistair is just really good. You know what the Invoked provide. Makaba, Purgatrio, Raijin, Kali-Yuga, they're powerful. They get you that far ahead into the game, and with the hand trap, it's a deck all on its own. The protection it provides, the advantage, there's not much that they're going to be able to do. I mean, Purgatrio's all on its own could have just been fine. I mean, the fact that they also got Makaba and Raijin, beneficial. And lastly, one of my personal favorite, Terratop. I think Terratop was a great engine whenever we had it. I hate to see that Terratop had gone to 1, but I mean, Speed Warriors just gave that much of an advantage. Didn't even have special summon. I mean, it was abused by the Zodiac, and that's why it got put to 1. You can't do the plays anymore, really, because it's just too inconsistent. Now, I mean, it doesn't do much. You couldn't do anything with Terratop. I mean, sure, that's a free Dante, but what are you going to do with that one Dante? Nothing. I mean, sure, you could summon Decode Talker, but after that, what are you going to do? You can't really do much. I mean, unless you summon the Fiendish Rhino, but I don't feel that that's worth it. It could come back. I mean, it's lost its power, but what it did have, there's a reason why it was a very powerful card, and I understand why it was limited, but I feel now it could come back. Now, I don't know who's coming after me or if I'm the last or the first or whatever, but I'm going to let someone else take over and talk about their engines. Thank you for watching, y'all.